we're out. And there we are. Yes, my friends, we are live now at X Community Facebook fan. It's Monday. For most of you, it's Monday morning. For us here in Bali, it's already almost afternoon. Not almost, it is afternoon. And I'm here today with Helen, and another day, another live session. And I'm super, super stoked, because how could we kick off the new week better with someone who really, really knows his business? She's a digital nomad since many, many years. She traveled around the world. She has her own program. She's a marketer, a designer. She did so many different amazing things, and we were just like watching her for a while. And we're like, okay, this girl we want to invite to the show, and we want to learn. And here we are today. So Helen, welcome to the show. It's awesome to have you on.
Thank you. What a sweet introduction. So yeah, I'm a digital nomad. I'm in Bali right now as we speak. I've been working online the last 10 years, mostly because I graduated in graphic design and I immediately started freelancing because the economy was low to be getting a job. So I'm very used to and very comfortable working online remotely, whether that meant traveling or not. But the last 3 years were spent traveling through 6 different continents until now in Bali with COVID. So yeah, let's
That's
see.
cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see where we take that. So yeah, Helen, it's awesome. You have a lot of experience. As you just said, you traveled for the last few years over 6 continents. You said, but you worked remotely over 10 years, which I think that's super cool, and that definitely shows that you have a lot of experience in remote work. At the moment, based on Bali because of COVID, you're going back to the States very soon. Is that right?
I'm
I
going
saw
back
both.
Thursday. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, why
Yeah.
do you leave Bali? Why do you leave us on Bali?
I'm just honestly sick of being in Asia. I think honestly, like, I'm just a cold weathered person. I want to get back into the leaves and the pine trees, but the time zone's a little tough on me because my clients are still predominantly in the States. So there's no sense of having a morning routine and a wind down. You can, and it's doable because I've worked on many different time zones, but after a while, it just takes a toll on your health. And intuitively, I was like, it's just time if I want to really be on the phone and working with clients a lot. I can't be
Mhm.
doing it in the wee hours of the night or early in the morning. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. I think that's a very interesting point you just mentioned. Is the time zone problem? Like especially when you're on Bali, because we're so down south. Yeah, I have my most of my clients and the audience in Europe, which is already a bit tricky. But then if you have the States and you have like 12, 13 hours, but you as someone with so much expertise and so many years by working remotely, for people who are, we have a lot of people in the community, they're starting off their journey, they're pretty new to the remote work scene, and they want to make it happen out there. What would you say, what are the biggest struggles, and what should people be aware when they kick off their journey as remote workers?
Um, that your routine is going to change all the time. And it's okay. You just have to be very adaptable. My routine will change not even by country or by city, but new lodging, apartment, villa, whatever that is, because your environment, like what coffee shop is near you, what co-working space is near you, how the internet is, what clients you could have at that time. So for me, most when I was traveling, I was freelancing as a designer for clients worldwide also. Like I had European clients and clients in the States from Hawaii all the way to Boston. So that's a big time zone already. Plus working part-time remotely for a company, for an ad agency. So you just have to set your boundaries. You also have to remember to shut the computer down or you will just keep working away and then you will burn out. But you just got to roll with the punches. I've taken calls and had my laptop open walking across the street in New York City before, but it was just like, it's fine, like you can hotspot off your phone. It's like, don't be afraid of all the change. It's very easy and adaptable, but just know that it's coming. There's lots of mindset shifts you have to make when you work remotely, and you're not in an office with someone telling you what to do all the time because you have to make those decisions. And you have to do it based on your productivity levels. And that's knowing yourself. You have to know yourself the best, and that's how you'll succeed, you know? That's what I would say.
Exactly. I think, yeah, especially what you just said at last. I think that's like the self-discipline and pushing yourself to make it happen, because it is a massive difference if you're not going to the office, right? And you don't have your boss watching your or at least comes in your office room once an hour, or you don't have your team members around you. So, and even what I always felt and what I always like, like, and then even being in places like Bali where there is so much distraction, and you would probably not you would love to go every day to the beach and surf, like, and sometimes I wish I would be back in Germany in an office where it rains and it's like, there is no distraction, at least.
Totally. Totally. I love when it rains in Bali because I'm like, perfect, I can just stay inside. But another thing with that I realize is minimum, I mean, now it's COVID, it's a different story, but don't stay like minimum 3 weeks. And when you're going somewhere, decide what's on your bucket list ahead of time. So you're going to say, like, I really want to hike this mountain. I really want to see this specific site. Make your bucket list for that country first, and then understand what your projects and deadlines are. And then you won't have that FOMO and you can work a normal week. And then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to tick off this one thing on my list, if that's surfing or whatever, on this Saturday. So you have to keep that balance, and you still feel like you're traveling, but you still feel like you're advancing in your career and doing what you're supposed to be doing. And with my clients, always give yourself extra time, because there is going to be stuff that happens along the way, whether it's on them, or you. Give yourself an extra 3 days at least for those fires at the end. Or, travel days too. You got to work on travel days.
Exactly. I think, yeah, we're dropping the value bombs here. Absolutely. That's definitely true. And I think that's very, very valuable information. So Nomad X community, everyone who's watching that video, I know for most of you guys, it's still like morning, lunchtime, and you're probably still a bit hangover from the weekend. I don't know, but get your asses off, watch the stream, comment and ask questions, because now is the time. And if you're too shy to ask the question, then drop us a like, drop us that love button so we know you are here. And I see we have a decent amount of people dropping into that live stream. So guys, become active. Helen, back to you. Let's talk. You stuck on Bali. How did COVID affect your business? Or did it in any way? I mean, you stuck on Bali, yes, but besides that?
Um, no, honestly. So for me, I stopped taking clients because I wanted to fully focus on my work. Because, through what happens, this is the general remote career ladder that you take. First, you're working your 9 to 5, and then you start a side hustle. So that freelance side hustle for me was always there. And then eventually you take that side hustle and you put it in the forefront, and you see how realistic that is to start making money and replace that 9 to 5 altogether. Then when you're doing that, you're still working for people, whether it's a remote 9 to 5 or you're freelancing. And then you decide, wait a minute, I kind of want to just do my own thing where I'm my own boss and I can teach people what I want to teach them instead of the other way around. So basically, that's kind of what happened, where I wanted to fully focus on my own business so I can help others achieve this lifestyle, build a freedom-based business, and basically be that person I wish I had when I was at a 9 to 5, being like, how on earth can you do this? Because especially in the States, it's really hard, and it's a limiting belief that you can actually do anything besides working a 9 to 5 job, like from health insurance to will I ever make enough money? When the reality is you can make way more money because you're setting your own hours, you're setting your own rates, and you're deciding who you want to work for. So with COVID, I actually decided I'm not going to actually take any more clients. Well, that was before COVID that I did that. And so what was actually really nice is that I had 4 months dedicated to me and my business and personal and business development, which is super important. As a nomad in general, I find that your career will grow exponentially opposed to being in a 9 to 5, waiting for somebody to leave and hopefully take their position. So it's actually been really great. And because I'm a designer and I've worked all in advertising, digital agencies, building websites, brand identity, positioning, and websites, no matter what happens, people are always going to need that. They're always going to need to market themselves, advertise online. The noisier that the media gets, the more that they actually need me. So, and that's actually one of the reasons why I went into graphic design when I was a kid, because I was like, you're always going to need advertising no matter what happens in this world. Unless like Armageddon happens, then no, you probably won't. But
Well, that's a different story.
yeah, that's a different
But yeah,
story.
that's that's kind of like what I wanted to hear, or what I expected to hear from you, because I think that's what we hear from so many people out there. Like once you start to work remotely, and we're facing a global pandemic, which was never something like that happened on the world. But what I hear from a lot of people like you, like designers, marketers, website builders, they're like, fuck hell, my business explodes. Like while all the small businesses are shutting down, the physical businesses, everyone shuts down, everyone struggles, everyone runs out of money. And all these online agencies and all the people out there are like, fuck I have so much work to do, right? And that's kind of like proof we're doing things right, or you guys are doing an awesome job out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think with COVID, now it's like forever we're trying to convince people that we are not on vacation and we're actually working. But now that people have had to work from home, they're like, oh, so you are actually working in Bali or wherever. And it's like, yeah, this is what I've been trying to tell you. And now they're seeing that they don't actually, A, love their job or their industry, or that there's just something more for them. Because I think what this pandemic is showing us is life is short, and how are you spending your life? Because if you're not spending every day doing something you love, and now you're stuck in I mean, luckily for us, we're in Bali and we're not really stuck, and we have lots of open air and beautiful grass and whatever. But oh my God, the poor New Yorkers and stuck in their little apartments paying so much rent, and now being
Yeah,
like, what am I doing with my life? Do I even want to
you're
do
right.
this? And I think in our society, we never fully decide what we want to do because we're so focused on the result. And we're like, okay, so I'm going to pick this degree because that degree equals this kind of job, and that job equals this kind of money, and that means success. But you don't know what you want until you're actually going through the motion and like paving your path. It's almost like dating. You're not going to know who you're going to end up with if you don't go on a bunch of different dates to see. But when it comes to our job, we kind of just like pick something, and it mostly has to do with our teacher that we liked in high school. And like, I
Right.
don't know, it's like,
Pretty spot on.
yeah,
I love it. Exactly. That's
whoa,
awesome.
you
I
know, like,
love it, Helen. I love it. There's so much value. There's so much value in what you are saying. So I want to switch gears a little bit. We are obviously also want to talk about your program, because that's an awesome setup you have. Before we do that, there is one question I want to pick here, and that's Golden. And Golden is saying, he says, hello, Helen. I like what you do and how you speak. My question goes, kindly give us a quick summary on a step-by-step process of building a solid marketing game plan on social media. Can you do that in like 2 minutes?
I love this. Okay, ready?
We're ready. Drop a value bomb.
Woo!
Awesome.
Okay, so first, you have to understand what your unique expertise is and what you are serving to your audience. Okay, so if you don't know that yet, I have a career path worksheet you can fill out and start to kind of close the gap on that. You want to do market research, and by doing that, you're going to go into a bunch of different Facebook groups where you think your avatar exists, and you're going to give them a survey to, because the thing is like, we don't understand how much we know until we meet someone and we blow their minds. But you also don't want to create content on something that nobody actually cares about. So that's super important. And you can go into Facebook groups and just search in them. And I always save them into like folders, and I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. I can make a whole thing about this. So that will help you understand what your expertise is and your unique offering. And then you want to pick 3 to 5 brand pillars. So for me, I can talk about travel, life as a digital nomad, personal branding, marketing, and inspirational. You're a woman, kick ass, conquer the world. Those are kind of my 5 brand pillars. So I speak to those 5 things equally consistently on social media. And that's what you want to do. You want to have the first 125 characters, if we're talking about Instagram, reel them in. You want to have a sound hashtag strategy where you can go and find hashtags that are followed by under 500K. So your avatar is going to find them because they're following these hashtags. And you want to just continually serve value. And so in that 2,000 characters, you want to give your audience a quick win for what they're struggling with right now. You want to inspire them to achieve the desired result that they want and that you can give them. And you also want to show them that you're an authority in whatever that is that you do. And so there's going to be these people sitting in the background and they're going to just keep watching, and you're building your trust with them. So they believe in what you have to say. They're going to see that you know what you're doing, and it's just going to spiral from there. And then people are going to be in your DMs being like, hey, so that thing you said, hey, so that, it's going to just spiral. And that's when you want to create something we call a lead magnet or a freebie, because the thing with social media, and so you would do this on Facebook and on LinkedIn. All of the social media platforms are the same. They have a little bit of a different algorithm, but it's basically the same. Provide content, value to a specific audience consistently. It's just the user interface that looks different. And you can schedule all these things too. So you want to do that. But you don't own social media, so it's important to make something like a PDF that they can download, a quiz, a checklist, an ebook, anything for free that really shows that you know your shit, and you're going to take their email and then you're going to just keep nurturing them into this system. But that means then you actually have these people and they're warm leads so you can further your conversation with them. And you want to have a great personal brand that shows you as you and your unique self and not what anybody else is doing. Because that's super important. Because, like, okay, for instance, you could take a Pinterest course from probably 5 million digital marketers on there, but you're only going to take one from this one person that you just generally like. And it's just because of who they are. So be yourself and be transparent and just share with the world what you want to help them with, to get that desired result. That's pretty much it.
Boom. And that was
Boom.
another valuable. That I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. That was so much value in like 3 minutes. So guys, this is absolutely amazing. Ellen, I knew it's gonna be good to invite you, but it's getting even better. So boom, I'm fascinated and I'm super grateful to have you on here. It's really, really cool. I think that's the perfect timing to switch that gear a little bit towards your program and coming a little bit to the end of that interview. I already dropped the link to your website here in the comment. So guys, check it out. Now, enlighten us. What can people expect when they work with you? What's involved in your program? What did you work on over the last few months? Because I know it's good, but how good it is, you let us know.
Okay, here it is. So in that market research, all that thing that I just told you about, this is what I'm finding is because we just chose a career, mostly from society, our parents, our family, our friends, whatever. For instance, when I was going to school, they told me I should be a nurse because the world needed nurses. And I went to school for graphic design, and they told me, oh, you're going to go to school to be a starving artist. And you're like, hey, that's rude. But so the thing is like, and I had really good guidance from my parents, but you want to find that thing that you love to do, and you can make a business out of anything. So what I do with my clients is I really drill into what their unique expertise is and what they want to do. Whether they want to coach, they want to make an online course, an ebook, the sky's the limit on how you can actually monetize. But it's getting past that mindset that you can do it. And think about this. So I'm going to teach people how to build a freedom-based business online. There is 20 million unemployed people in the United States. So I could say that there's a ton of people doing this, but if I could just help like the smallest little portion of that, like I will die happy. So what I do is I work with people to first understand what we're going to make that vision of what that lifestyle looks like. Besides that, you will be able to travel the world and work on your laptop. It's much bigger than that because you want to have a career that you absolutely love. And so we go through a series of exercises, and I'm kind of like, I guess, a psychologist in a way, but because I've had so much background working in advertising, that's exactly what we do. We do the market research, we understand their pain, and then you have 30 seconds in a TV spot to make a compelling message to them that they want to buy this thing. And so building business ideas is one of my favorite things to do. It's super easy for me, I think, just because I've always worked in such a conceptual space. But then it comes into, we're going to go from zero to launch. So we're going to do that. I'm going to do all that market research with you. We're going to come up with your reasons to believe people should listen to you. You're going to start building an audience. We're going to put a marketing strategy step by step, week by week, month by month in place, because I understand that there's so much noise out there, and you're sick of downloading lead magnets to fill out your niche avatar, or you're sick of, there's just so much. And like, what email provider should I use? Well, there's just so much noise, and it's really hard and it's really overwhelming, and I understand it. And you're not supposed to know how to market yourself and branding. These are specific skill sets. So if you're someone who's going to coach somebody, I don't know, on breath work, you're not expected to know how to brand it either. So with that, what I also do in the background is I work with you to create your own branding identity, website design, ebook, lead magnet, whatever design, all the systems in the background completely automated, because it feels like such a chicken and egg thing. Like, you need to have this professional online appearance, but you also need to be creating content and serving your client and being on the phone with them and talking to them and understanding them. And it's a lot to do. It's very overwhelming. And a lot of people have this limiting belief they can't design, and they get really hung up by, well, if I work online, I have to have a website and this and this and this and this and then social media. And it's like, it's okay. We're just going to breathe. And so I help you do all of that. So I have different services depending if it's just an hour strategy to kind of understand your current starting point, to giving you a blueprint as these are immediate next steps for you to do and give you that accountability, to a complete more VIP package where I will design your website and everything that you need. So you can go from, I have absolutely no idea what I want to do to make an online business, to I'm going to launch this with confidence, leave my 9 to 5 and start rolling in those 5K months or whatever. So yeah, the whole thing.
There's a lot. There's a lot. No, I love it. That's great. And that's actually community, I want to say, and that's why we reached out to Helen, because we checked her out and we saw her program or what she's coming up with. And because to be very honest, there are a lot of people who are be like, oh, I guide you through, like showing similar things like you do. But first of all, I think you proved your knowledge in the last 20 minutes. Definitely. So that's very authentic. And we checked out what you are offering, and we think that this is pretty much exactly what you need, depending on where you are. And there is definitely a lot of value. So guys, check it out. There is also a free ebook on the website which you can download. And the Nomad Influence, the name says it all. It's in the comments. We will drop it again after the interview to make sure you're going to find it. And that's where you want to go if you need help with everything we just spoke about in the last 23 minutes. Helen, thank you very much. It was really cool. It was really cool. Time is running. It was fun, right? It was like at the beginning we were like, oh, I don't know. So I remember when you came on, you were like, oh my God, I see myself. I was like, bro, that's super cool. Like,
there's no Instagram filter. I'm used to seeing Instagram filter. Like,
you're a natural. You're a natural. You did an awesome job. Absolutely cool. It was really, really good having you. Honored to have you as part of our community. I wish you good luck with everything, and I wish you safe travel back to the States. Keep rocking. You're the first person in the world who's telling me I want to go back to the cold, but nobody is perfect. So that's your thing. I think that's super cool. All the best.
I'll go down to Mexico after Christmas. I'll head on south, and I'll just start the same working remotely, paradise, Instagram picture life, except I'll be on a better time zone for my health.
Perfect. That's great. And I've seen we got a few more questions dropping in. Guys, I'm super sorry we can't answer all of them now, but we will make sure they're getting answered afterwards, because Helen will keep an eye on them. I do the same. So And even if you watch the review and you have more questions, and I'm sure you have, drop them in here. Nomad X community, we have another show coming on Thursday where we specifically talk about Instagram. And we have a couple dropping in from Germany. They have a few 100,000 followers, so they know exactly what we're talking about. So stay excited for that. Until then, we keep dropping the value bomb, and we wish Helen all the best. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.